What is good, Sinz Nation? It's your boy Sinz here. And this is the return of Talking with Sinz. Let's play that intro. Alright, Sinz Nation, this is Talking with Sinz, the podcast where I can talk about trending topics, personal development, video games, sports, you know it. And it's been a while. A lot's happened. I've been really busy. I was really busy with work and school in the beginning of the year. And COVID was still a thing. The vaccine wasn't out yet. So I haven't been able to really do the episodes I had planned for season 2. But that's here nor there. I am back with this video. If you see the title, it's going to be a personal development video. And it's just something that I never really talk about. It's hard for me to really talk about it with friends. I sometimes talk to my friend Adriana about it. Shout out to her. And I've talked to my coworker teachers about it. But I don't really talk about it. And that's dealing with family life and family issues. Now, I can say a lot. Maybe this is going to be a high ball. I don't know the statistics of it. Probably about 80 to 85%, maybe even everyone. Someone in the world deals with family issues and family trauma. No family is Brady Bunch amazing, Adam's family amazing. Everything happens. So if you guys don't remember the trauma, it's not really trauma. Yeah, actually, it's traumatic. And when I was 16, my mother got diagnosed with chronic bipolar disease. She had a panic attack one day when I was at home. And it was something new to me. I never knew how to deal with someone with a mental illness. I didn't know how to cope. I didn't know the steps to take. And the first thing I thought to myself was, okay, well, I can't fix this person. I don't have the methods to fix this person. But it's also over time you realize you can't help someone who doesn't want to be helped. Now with my mother, when that happened, she was Baker acted. Everything happened. And my grandma was a big support for me. She had my back. I love my grandma to death. Shout out to Grandma Sandy. And that was my junior year of high school. So that was right before senior year. But I'm still finding myself as a man. I believe I just turned 16, 17. Yeah, I just turned 17. And at that time, my mom wasn't home. I was home by myself for like 2-3 months. I had to pay bills. I learned how to pay bills myself. I learned how to cook properly, enhance my game as a chef, you could say. And it took a toll on me. It had to sit down and think to past events when I was a kid and why I am the way I am, why it's hard for me to speak to people, why I don't like asking for things, why it is hard for me to trust people or love a person the way they deserve to be loved, because I wasn't really loved the way I should have been. Now, I'm not saying my mom didn't love me. I wasn't neglected. I had a roof over my head. She fed me. But then there was kind of things where there was some support and there wasn't some support. And there's just things you shouldn't tell a kid. Like if I messed up or something, oh, Brandon, you're an idiot, or you're so stupid, or you this and that. So, anywho, so senior year, freshman year of college went okay. My dad was there, my grandma was there, I had my support. But things kind of got rocky where my mom, she would sometimes get into modes, just go off the deep end, not understand what she's doing, say things that she shouldn't say. And this is the first time we got into an argument about, it wasn't even really an argument, it was more of I didn't do something right away. And it wasn't really that big of a deal to me at that time. And she said that, oh, you're useless, and I should have had an abortion. And hearing that from your mother is such a hard thing to deal with. It's a hard thing to cope with, and it still affects me to this day because it wasn't the only time she has said that to me. And then, she's backtracked and, oh, I didn't mean that, I love you so much, da 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 da. But that's the signs of being toxic. And then you could say there's the, oh, well, she has a mental illness. But if you don't want to get help, or if you don't even say that you have a mental illness and you say it's just anxiety, so then that means you really meant it, if we go by that logic. So then boom, she said that, I wasn't really home. Things, I guess, get better, but that's always in the back of your head. And then it gets to the time where I get kicked out, and this was, I say, the worst one, and hopefully by me reciting it, I don't choke up or anything of that nature. But it was just, she said, yeah, I should have had a freaking abortion. Like, I really do wish I never had you. I want you out of my house. And I said, okay. So I packed my stuff, and I lived with my grandmother for a year. Once again, shout out to Grandma Sandy because she had my back. But so this is coming out on the podcast now because Mother's Day wasn't so long ago, and I don't celebrate Mother's Day. I can't. In the sense of something always happens, something always just happens. So boom, the day before Mother's Day, something happens. Okay, I'm not going to drive over there to give you your gift anymore, this and that, because you wanted to pop off on me, and I'm not going to, in my age now, regardless of if you're my mother, my father, whoever you are, I am not going to take that disrespect like I am not, at the end of the day, a human being. So I still wished her a happy Mother's Day, and she sent a text back just saying, like, I don't have a son, this and that, everything under the wind. And it got me to thinking, like, I'm probably not the only one that deals with this, and this podcast is my way of speaking about it, because I like to hold things in a lot, and I like to, when I'm with myself, I like to get upset a lot. And I don't know how to react to trauma. I don't know how to react to a lot of things. I become emotional. I become upset. I sometimes say to myself, and I always try to have a smile on my face like nothing's wrong. But at the end of the day, sometimes I just want to feel as I mean something to someone. And my friends are there in the sense of they're there like, oh, but we like love you, this and that. My dad's there, but excuse me, but it's like my mom raised me, so she was there for my first kiss or my first girlfriend or going through middle school and my first band concert. And I always had, like, you look into the future, I was going to be a lawyer. I was like, Mom, yeah, I'm going to get you a house, I'm going to get you a guest house, I got you. And it's like, if I become successful, I still want to have you, but like at the same time, I don't, because it's hard. Because you make it seem as you don't want me, or you make it seem as I'm a mistake in a sense. So yeah, that's just how just something of me. So I just, I'm here to also give my advice on how I cope with it in a sense. I always say, like I said earlier, you can't, if you're dealing with someone in your family that, you know, is a certain type of way, you can't fix the difficult person. You have to, at the end of the day, you have to accept them exactly as who they are. And that's for everyone. It's not even just for family. And it is like you want to help someone that you truly care about, and you want to make those efforts to help them, and it could work. And maybe your efforts will go a long way, but they're not rewarded. But when you're spending the effort and your health on trying to fix that person and make their life better, it will become a headache, because sometimes it doesn't matter what you do, they'll always point out the things that you didn't do. So you have to accept that they're unable to change, Like my mother, she has strained her relationship with her side of the family, and I love them to death. And they asked me, like, Brandon, what's going on with your mother? And when I went up there to visit, it was my cousin kind of had my back, so shout out to Crystal for that. Because she told them, like, don't ask Brandon about his mom. Like, he's here on vacation. He doesn't want that negativity to follow him. I don't have the answers. I don't have the answers, Sway. I don't have the answers. I don't know. That's her. I don't control what she can do. So it's like, unless you can see real change with that person, and the person is making the effort to see you halfway, you have to know how to limit your expectations, tone it down to understand what you want to do. Like now, I'm a very present and direct person when it comes to my mother, because before I used to let her get under my skin. No one could really get under my skin, but this woman would get under my skin. She just knew how to stir the pot. She knew how to set me off emotionally. And there was times where I just got super anxious and I would get super stressed, and I needed to fully learn how to cope with that and tune in my energy and realize that I'm doing what I have to do for me, And it's just, sometimes it's hard. It's hard. Because at the end of the day, when it comes to family or even a friend that you love, it is hard when you look at the past and you see how they used to be. And then you remember the moment everything changed. And then you see how it is now. And you sometimes think to yourself, if you were the cause, You sometimes think to yourself if there was something that you could do to change it. And you have to let that go. You have to realize it isn't your fault. And you can't take it personally. You have to realize your own well-being comes first. And you want that respect, and you want to be attentive to them, and you want to care for them. But if you are disrupting your peace by doing that, it is okay to take a step back and worry about yourself, because no one is entitled to occupy your space unless you invite them in. And this is advice I'm giving to you guys, to whoever listens to this, because it's advice I need to take for myself. And it's advice that I need to grow from. And I sometimes see that I've grown as a person, but there's sometimes it takes a toll on me, and I take it out on people that don't deserve it. And I have to sit back and I have to realize what I am doing as a person, because that's not me. And I have to take advantage and gratitude for the people who do say they care about me and that they love me and that they want me here because they're spending that effort on me. You know, they don't have to tell me these things. And I know it's hard. And sometimes you may feel as your space, your safety, it's broken. It's been intruded in. But I tell myself all the time, and this is maybe a very terrible thing that I say to myself, but at the end of the day, when I die, I'm gonna be the only ashes in the urn or only skeleton in the casket. So I have to live life for me, and I can't let anyone or anything dictate how I want to live my life to be happy. And that's the return of Talking with Sinz. I hope you guys can take this advice. I hope I can take my own advice. And yeah, I can just say I'm back. Sinz out.
1, 2, 3, funky.